What's going on, guys? This is Andrew with Blue Circle Gaming, and today I will be comparing the Oculus Quest 2 to the Oculus Quest 1. I've been playing the 1 for a little over a year now. Love it. That's what I make all my videos with. Let's compare the two. Alright, so we got the Quest 1 here, Quest 2 here. When this first came out, it was $400 for 64 gig, like I've got right here, $500 for a 128 gig. And I think most people would agree that's a pretty good deal for what you got. Quest 2, this one starts at $300 for a 64 gig, $400 for a 256 gig. I happen to get the 256 gig here because that was the only one that they had in store. Also, got the Elite strap with it. $50 add-on, and we'll talk about that in just a second. This right here is the strap that came with it. I can tell you right now, just from feeling this thing, some of the other videos I've seen people using it, this is crap. Like, it shouldn't even have came with this. It should have came with this, and then the additional one with the battery pack. That I could see as an upgrade that they could sell you separately. The original Quest, this strap here, kind of spring-loaded. So you pull it, put it on your head, let it go, you're good to go. This one here takes a little bit more time. There is a dial in the back, left to loosen, right to tighten. So once you put it on your head, tighten it up. When you're done playing with it, turn to the left, loosens, take it off. Now you've probably seen online, a lot of people are breaking these Elite straps right here. And I'm assuming what it is they're putting it on their head without tightening and loosening the strap back here. And when you force it on there, it puts pressure right here, and most of the ones that I've seen are breaking right at this area. So I would definitely recommend have it loose when you put it on, tighten it up, then when you're done playing, loosen it back up again so you're not putting pressure right here. As far as visual differences go, obviously color difference. Quest 1 is slightly larger, slightly heavier. They're both pretty close to the same size, but this one is slightly larger, slightly heavier, as opposed to this one here. The USB-C slot in this one is vertical, and the one here is horizontal, much better in my opinion. Okay, now as far as comfort goes, like I said, the factory strap that comes with this one, you can tell just by looking at it, probably not going to be super comfortable. This Elite strap, it's not bad once you get it tightened just exactly where it needs to be. This one here, personally, I probably find this one a little bit more comfortable, just easier to put on, take off. So as far as that goes, still do prefer this one a little bit. Okay, now let's talk about the screens inside these things, what you're going to be staring at the entire time. This one has an OLED screen versus this here. They have decided to go with LCD screen. Next thing we need to talk about is the IPD adjustment. Basically, how far apart your eyes are. On the original Quest, as you can see right here, there's a slider so you can dial in exactly where you need to be. On the Quest 2, they've just got 3 positions. Now it's at 2, that's 3, sliding it all the way into 1. So hopefully you fit one of those 3 positions. If you don't, then it's going to look slightly blurry to you. Okay, now let's talk about the resolution refresh rate. Quest 1 here, it's pretty good. 72 hertz refresh rate, pretty good for the most part. This one here, 90 hertz refresh rate. Can you tell the difference? Yes, slightly. There's a little bit of a difference. This one does have higher resolution. Once again, huge difference? No, I don't think it's a huge difference. It's nowhere near going from like 1080p TV to a 4K TV. Nothing like that, but it is slightly better. As far as blacks go, OLED screen versus an LCD screen. The blacks look way better on this, honestly. You play something like big screen, certain dark games, you can just immediately tell the difference in the quality of the blacks on screen. God rays. Now, if you don't know what God rays are, I'll throw an example up on the screen. It is worse with this than it is with the original Quest. Honestly, if there's like white text on a black background, you definitely have God rays as you're looking around, and you'll see what I'm talking about as soon as you start playing it. Now, as far as the vertical sweet spot, whenever you put one of these headsets on, there's a sweet spot where you've got to find vertically where everything's in focus. It seems to me like the one on the Quest 2 is definitely a little bit more narrow than it is on the Quest 1. Now, I can't show this on video, but it's one of those things that you'll just see when you start messing with it. It seems like if you jerk your head up and down a little bit with this, it still stays in focus for the most part, unless you're wearing this super tight. It just seems to be easier to go out of focus with this one. Okay, now as far as the battery and the charge time goes, I want to say it's right about an hour, hour and a half charge time, and usually lasts about 2.5 to 3 hours depending upon what you're doing. This one, it does seem to die a little bit quicker to me. I don't know if it's because of the 90 hertz refresh rate or because the resolution is just a little bit higher, but this one does seem to die just a little bit quicker on me, but it's still fine, just how long it lasts. Still plenty of time to play around. Personally, I'm normally in for about an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour depending on the game, and then I'm ready for a break afterwards. Okay, let's take a look at the controllers. The original Quest controllers, they're kind of small, a little bit. Normally, I just rest my thumbs on the thumbsticks here. They work fine. One issue that a lot of people had is the battery compartment here. You start getting super into like a game of Beat Saber or something like that, and you're bouncing around all over the place, and boom, this can pop off a little battery compartment. And as you can see, it's super easy to get off and on there. These new controllers for the Quest 2, as you can tell, are significantly bigger inside here. They've almost got like a spot to rest your thumb right there. Obviously, they still work. I don't really have a preference. They do feel different. These are definitely bigger, but as far as the tracking goes, I would say these are a little bit better tracking as far as if you're in a low light situation, not a really well lit room. I would say these are a little bit better than the Quest 1 as far as tracking goes. Now, like I mentioned, on the first Quest, the battery compartment came off pretty easily. This one's definitely a little bit harder to get it on and off there. So if you had that issue with the first Quest, really shouldn't have it with these controllers on the second one. Wanted to show a little bit of the gameplay on here as well. Here in the super hot main room, you can see on the Quest 1, definitely a little bit darker, less details. Quest 2, definitely brighter, pops out a little bit more. Another thing with the Quest 2, definitely has a more powerful processor, games load up faster, it has more RAM, so it has a little bit more muscle in that area as opposed to the Quest 1. So the final question I think most people are going to have is, if you already have the Quest 1, is it worth upgrading to the Quest 2? Not necessarily at the moment. Like I said, I'm sure they're going to come out with a lot more Quest 2 games. The main thing I would be concerned about if you were in that situation, if you had the Quest 1, wasn't sure to get the Quest 2 or not, is we've seen with Oculus, as far as Rift goes, they have definitely started focusing more and more on the Quest stuff. So one of the concerns I have is, you know, they're still making games, putting out games for the Quest 1 and whatnot, but 6 months from now, what's going to happen? Are they just going to mainly start doing updates and making the game specifically for the Quest 2? We don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But if the Rift is any indication, it's definitely a good possibility that could happen. Rounding it out, here's just a quick pros and cons list I put together. Pretty much the only thing we didn't really touch on is the higher refresh rate recording in the Quest 2. If you go into side quest, you can set it to record in high refresh rate. If you try and do that with side quest on the Quest 1, it starts to fall apart in game. It starts to stutter, and really it's just the Quest 2 flexing its CPU, more RAM. It's got the capability to record, look a little bit better. Once again, these are my personal thoughts and opinions. Your mileage may vary. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.